This is the truth about success you've been ignoring. There's a moment in every life when reality slams into you hard, not with anger, but with clarity. That moment when you realize that success doesn't care about your dreams if they stay in your head. It doesn't reward talent alone or effort without direction. It rewards something far more dangerous, intention. The kind of intention that refuses to look away from failure, that stares it down and says, "I will learn from you." You were never promised an easy path, but you were given everything you need to walk it. Somewhere between the noise of social media distractions, the false promises of overnight success, and the endless parade of shortcuts, we lost sight of what real success demands. Not luck, not timing, not even genius, but consistency, commitment, and a relentless refusal to settle for anything less than the full expression of your potential. And yet, most people live like ghosts in their own lives, drifting through days that blur together, chasing goals they don't really want, wearing masks they didn't choose. They talk about wanting freedom, but spend years chained to routine. They dream of impact, but do nothing that matters. They stare at screens instead of mirrors. They watch others succeed and wonder why it wasn't them. But here's the truth. Success isn't found in the spotlight. It's forged in the shadows, in the quiet moments when no one is watching. When you choose discipline over distraction, purpose over comfort, growth over familiarity. It begins the moment you stop waiting for permission to start and begin living as the author of your own story. Your mind is the most powerful tool you possess and also the most dangerous weapon against yourself. Think of it as a workshop, filled with tools both sharp and dull. Some thoughts build bridges, others dig trenches. Most people operate on autopilot, letting default programming dictate their actions. But those who truly master success have rewired their thinking not by eliminating doubt, but by choosing which voices get airtime. Consider Thomas Edison. When asked how he failed 10,000 times before inventing the light bulb, he replied, "I didn't fail 10,000 times. I found 10,000 ways that didn't work." His mindset reframed failure as discovery. He didn't see setbacks, he saw steps. That's the difference between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. One sees limits, the other sees possibilities. One asks, "Why try?" The other asks, "How can I improve?" You are not the sum of your past excuses. You are the architect of your future decisions. Your thoughts shape your beliefs. Your beliefs shape your habits. Your habits shape your destiny. Change your mind, and you change your life. But belief alone isn't enough. It must be grounded in clarity, because directionless ambition is just noise. Every great achievement began with a single question. What do I truly want? Not what others expect, not what society praises, not what looks good on a resume, but deep, soul-level clarity about what lights you up, what makes your heart race, what feels like home even when the world calls it strange. Henry Ford once said, "If I had asked people what they wanted, they would have said faster horses." He didn't ask. He knew. He saw the future before it arrived. Clarity gave him confidence, and confidence gave him courage. Clarity is not certainty. You don't need to know every step. You only need to know the first one and trust that the next will reveal itself. But without clarity, even the strongest ambition gets lost in fog. Ask yourself this. What do you want so badly you'd fight for it? What problem do you want to solve so deeply it keeps you awake at night? What legacy do you want to leave behind? Until you answer these questions honestly, you'll keep wandering in circles, mistaking movement for progress. Success is not the result of scattered efforts. It's the outcome of focused intention. Clarity is your compass. Without it, you're adrift in a sea of distractions. Clarity tells you where you're going. Vision shows you what it looks like when you arrive. Vision is the seed of all creation. Before there was the Empire State Building, there was a drawing. Before there was Walt Disney World, there was a napkin sketch. Before Martin Luther King Jr. stood on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial, he had a dream and he spoke it into existence. Vision is more than imagination. It's a declaration of intent. It's the mental picture of the life you're determined to create. People with vision don't just hope things will change, they see them changed, and in that seeing they find the strength to move mountains. Andrew Carnegie once said, "The man who starts out simply with the idea of getting rich won't succeed. You must have a bigger vision." He built the steel empire of the Gilded Age not for money alone, but for the belief that industry could reshape civilization. Your vision must be bigger than personal gain. It must serve something greater than yourself, because greatness is never self-centered. It always points outward. So ask, what does your ideal future look like? Who are you becoming? What are you building? If you can't paint a vivid picture, you'll lack the fuel to endure the long journey ahead. Because vision gives meaning to struggle, and struggle is the price of progress. Vision tells you where you're going. Purpose tells you why you must go. Without purpose, discipline crumbles. Without purpose, motivation fades. Without purpose, even talent wilts under pressure. Abraham Lincoln was rejected for nearly every office he ran for. He went bankrupt, suffered multiple nervous breakdowns, watched his wife die young, and endured ridicule from the press. Yet he pressed on not for power, not for fame, but for a cause larger than himself. He believed in union, in justice, in the promise of a nation. When your purpose is rooted in values deeper than wealth or recognition, you become unstoppable. You become unshakable. You become the kind of person history remembers not because you sought glory, but because you refused to compromise your truth. Finding purpose isn't a lightning strike. It's a slow burn. A process of listening to what stirs your soul, of paying attention to what makes you feel alive even when it's hard, of noticing what causes you can't ignore. Your purpose may not come fully formed. It may whisper at first, but if you tune in, it will guide you, because purpose is not chosen. It chooses you, and once you find it, everything changes. Purpose fuels the fire. Discipline shapes the flame into form. Think of discipline not as punishment, but as precision. It's the choice to act according to plan, even when you don't feel like it. It's the daily grind that builds extraordinary results. It's the gap between knowing and doing. Thomas Jefferson wrote the Declaration of Independence before he turned 30. But what most people forget is that he spent years studying law, philosophy, architecture, and agriculture. He woke at dawn, read voraciously, planned meticulously, and worked tirelessly. His genius wasn't just natural talent, it was cultivated through relentless self-discipline. Discipline is not about perfection, it's about commitment. It's showing up again and again, even when the magic is gone, even when the world doesn't notice. It's the silent force that turns ordinary people into legends. You don't wait for inspiration to strike. You make it happen. You build rituals. You create systems. You design your environment to support your highest aspirations. You say no to distractions so you can say yes to your destiny. Because success doesn't come from big bursts of energy, it comes from consistent acts of willpower. Discipline is the bridge between who you are now and who you're capable of becoming. A vision trapped in thought is a daydream. A purpose buried in planning is wasted potential. Ideas mean nothing without execution. Steve Jobs didn't change the world with a PowerPoint. He changed it with prototypes, failures, rejections, and rebuilds. He took action, bold, imperfect, relentless action even when everyone told him he was wrong. Action is the alchemy of transformation. It turns curiosity into knowledge, thought into experience, fear into wisdom. Every time you take a step forward, you expand your capacity. You prove to yourself that you are capable of more than you believed possible. Many people wait for the perfect moment, but the perfect moment never arrives. Action creates momentum. Momentum creates opportunity. Opportunity creates success. So start small, but start now. Build habits through repetition. Make mistakes on purpose. Learn from failure. Keep moving. Because the path to success is paved with tiny steps taken consistently, not giant leaps done occasionally. Action is the language of winners. Speak it fluently. In the pursuit of more, many lose sight of what they already have. Gratitude is not just a feeling, it's a strategy, a mindset, a way of looking at the world that shifts your energy from scarcity to abundance. Walt Disney was fired from a newspaper job for lacking creativity. He lived in poverty while trying to build his dream studio. But throughout his struggles, he maintained gratitude for the opportunities he did have. He kept going because he believed in the magic of storytelling and in the people who supported him along the way. Gratitude doesn't erase hardship. It elevates your perspective. It reminds you that even in the darkest hours there is light, that even in failure there is growth, that even in loss there is love. Start each day with thankfulness, not for what you want, but for what you already possess, for your health, your relationships, your ability to learn, to grow, to try again, because gratitude is the foundation of peace, and peace is the soil in which success flourishes. The world is changing faster than ever. Industries rise and fall in months. Technologies render yesterday's skills obsolete. Those who cling to the past risk being left behind. But adaptability is not weakness, it's intelligence. It's the ability to evolve without losing your core, to pivot without panicking, to embrace change instead of fearing it. Look at Henry Ford. He revolutionized manufacturing with the assembly line. But he didn't stop there. He kept innovating, adjusting, learning. Even when competitors tried to copy his model, he stayed ahead by staying flexible. Adaptability means being open to feedback, being willing to unlearn, being ready to shift strategies when the data reveals a better path. It requires humility, courage, and an openness to continuous improvement. Because the world doesn't reward stubbornness, it rewards evolution. Stay fluid, stay curious, stay ready to change, because change is the only constant. If success were easy, everyone would have it. But the road is rough. Challenges will come. Setbacks will hit. Doubt will creep in. People will misunderstand you. Systems will break. Life will throw curveballs. Resilience is the muscle that allows you to bend but not break, to fall and still rise, to face darkness and keep walking toward the light. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison. Imagine the weight of that sentence, the isolation, the silence. But he emerged not bitter, but wiser, not broken, but transformed. Why? Because he chose resilience over resentment. Resilience isn't about ignoring pain. It's about enduring it with dignity. It's the quiet decision to respond, not react, to grieve, then heal, to stumble, then stand. Build your resilience by facing discomfort instead of avoiding it, by embracing challenges instead of running from them, by seeing obstacles as teachers rather than enemies, because resilience is not the absence of struggle, it's the presence of strength. The most successful people aren't necessarily the smartest. They're the ones who never stop learning. Edison didn't stop experimenting after the light bulb. Carnegie didn't stop reading after he became the richest man in America. Elon Musk taught himself rocket science as an adult. Bill Gates reads 50 books a year. Learning is not a school thing, it's a life thing. It's the habit of curiosity, the hunger for insight, the willingness to admit you don't know and then go find out. In a world of infinite information, ignorance is a choice. Those who win are students for life. They listen, they ask questions, they seek mentors, they study failures, they turn every experience into a lesson. Because knowledge compounds. Just like money, just like influence, just like impact. Make learning your lifestyle. Let every day teach you something new. Because growth never stops unless you let it. You are not here by accident. You are not broken beyond repair. You are not too late, too inexperienced, too poor, or too afraid. You are here to rise, to rewrite, to reclaim your power. Everything you've been through, the pain, the loss, the rejection, the doubt, has shaped you into the person standing at the edge of possibility. And now it's time to leap. Success isn't a destination. It's a direction, a way of living, a commitment to excellence, to integrity, to growth. It's not about comparison. It's about contribution. It's not about impressing others. It's about becoming the best version of yourself. History is written by those who dared to believe in something bigger than themselves and acted on it relentlessly. Now it's your turn. Take the next step, then the next, then the next. Because the truth about success you've been ignoring isn't hidden in some secret formula or exclusive group. It's inside you, waiting to be claimed, waiting to be lived,